Hey, chickadees, I'm Lay Rooster, and you're in the hen house. It's been a while, and where have I been? Exactly, we're back here, and we're looking at Fleet Commanders from Update 50. All this stuff came out, and I'm sorry, there was a big storm that was really hitting in Northern California for several weeks and actually was knocking out power and heat and flooding basements and things like that really took me out of commission for a while. There was a little bit of illness and work was pretty up multiple notches. So I'm just happy to be getting back. So I didn't get to make the videos that I normally do, but remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you catch the future videos. Anyway, one of the things that I'm most excited about with Update 50, which I know we're getting close to the end though, is what's here to stay is the new Fleet Commander system. So I wanted to break that down because I think there's a lot of questions about that mechanic, and that will be going forward. We're starting to use them, and I think we're just starting to scratch the surface. We'll talk a little bit more later on about some of the gotchas and the bottlenecks that are in there, but over time that we're going to all get past those and we can look at it. I've got the different Fleet Commanders, and so we can look at them, and we will take a check there. So let's look initially at the page that Scopely set up, which they do this sometimes with a new in-depth mechanic, giving us a page just about that mechanic. We're just going to start there, and then we're going to go into the game. So let's look into it. One, of course, we've got Locutus over here, and he's just darn cool. I mean, you know, it's Locutus. Resistance is futile, you know. All right, so we've got him there. It does say that Fleet Commanders are at everyone's disposal at operations level 15 and above. Caveats for that, but at the beginning at 15, which doesn't take too long to get to, you can start appreciating them. And they talk about, of course, that these officers work not like your normal officers, but they're in your fleet command. So you've probably figured some of this out, but I want to highlight some of the pieces that people are getting tripped up, or if you're getting new to the fleet commanders, catching this video a little later, that we hopefully catch the things that are catching you, tripping you. So again, these are going to give a lot of buffs, and as we've seen during the way the arc rolls out, a lot of times we have events which say slot this fleet commander with skills leveled up, and then go do X, Y, and Z. So we can expect that in the future in battle passes and other events, and I welcome this. I think this is a great addition to the game. So I'm curious what you think. Please let me know down below in the comments. Let's see. So again, a lot of it, they're like ready to lead. All right, so you're going to get, in the very beginning, you can get either Kirk or Spock, no Locutus right now, for free one day. We'll see. But you get Kirk or Spock for free, so know that. One important thing to look here, you need to complete this mission, Legends of the Cosmos. Look for this mission, and that's how you'll get to choose between Kirk and Spock. Honestly, they're all good. I won't tell you that. Kirk is good for a lot of different play styles and for grinding up hostiles and things like that, grinding up scrapper ships, which is something that appeals to me. Whereas Spock is great when you're doing research and building and mining. So when you're doing those types of events, or when you're participating in a domination style spend event, he can help there if you level them up. Now, leveling them up is a little trickier, but we'll get into that as well. So just be aware, look for the mission Legends of the Cosmos, and you get to pick Kirk or Spock if you're just getting started. You may want to look once you start your command center, which is right here in this picture. You'll be able to see what they have, and that way you can choose before you pick Kirk or Spock. All right, so let's look next. Commanding from afar. Okay, so they unlock them. You put them in the command center to put them on duty. On duty. All right, so when they're on duty, that has different effects that play. There are others that are always on, and we're going to look at that in greater detail in the game, just to be there. They do note that in the beginning, only one fleet commander can be active at a time, but once you get your command center up to level 40, and that does mean you need to be ops level 40, and you'll probably be higher than that if it's earlier in the game, because it's going to take a while in that command center. We'll talk about that. But then you can have two at the time. Now, I don't think that Kirk, Spock, and Locutus are going to be the only ones. We'll have others. I mean, and there's plenty of power creep in this game, so we're bound to see some other ones. But each one of these guys is good. They all have stuff. There's a little bit of overlap. There's reasons to want all of them. I went ahead and got all three of them so I could participate in the ARC events. I've not regretted that, but I will talk about why you don't need to rush out as quickly, because I've learned some of that. Let's see. So you put them on command there. Now they're talking about, hey, you have infinite diversity in combinations. Obviously, they have 3 different skill trees. These are like research things. Some things are always on. Some things are only on when they're slotted in, quote, on duty. So swapping them out. There is a timer. It's a 6-hour timer of cooldown. You put Spock on there. You got to wait 6 hours before you can put Kirk or Locutus or whomever else is coming out there. So be aware of that. You can switch them multiple times a day. So you can plan out if you know you're going to be doing a lot of mining heavy events, then you could use Spock perhaps, and then you're going to do some hostile grinding and stuff, and maybe or Armada things, and maybe you're switching to Kirk or Locutus. So you may have to plan your play, but I find that a lot of us do that. We may mine early or mine late, and then also do hostile grinding at a different time of day when our ships and different officers are available. So check that out. Okay. So they're talking about like Kirk has different, he has different skills. And we're going to look at, like I said, in the game a little more, but they talk about he's got the skills that grant buffs to officers against hostiles. And then also that related to space exploration ships, that's like warp and impulse speed. So you can see how those things happen. Whereas Spock does things related to mining and the survey ships, skills related to the station, it says, and related to research and other fascinating buffs. All right, so and then Locutus helps with other kind of hostile grinding and Armada stuff and some PvP. So you can see that since you tend to have to get involved in all of these at different times, that they will all have their time to shine. And so with our different events, and I think it makes sense to have them in your arsenal. But getting there takes a while. They say change is essential. So this is another part to look at. They talk about how the solo armadas, the Borg solo armadas, which were also recently released with this patch, are part of how you level up your commanders. But that's only available for commanders operation level 35 and above. So if you're 15, you can do some fleet commander stuff, but you're going to need to hit that level 35 and above to be able to get the fullness of what fleet commanders offer. And in all truth, people, the majority of players are in that 35 and above level, but everyone else gets there, and it doesn't take so long to get there, so that's kind of cool. But it is nice that you unlock it earlier, start getting a taste of it, and then it will blossom, so to speak, in hopefully a fascinating way. Let me know what you think so far down below. They talk about getting some skill points and different skills redeemed for specific fleet commanders through the refinery. We'll look at that refinery in a minute. So again, it talks about customization. So let's look at the game. Kapow! Here's a game. All right. So we're looking in here. Let's go inside on the game and I make sure I got a little time for my shield expire. I'll be streaming on Twitch later after I get done recording this video. So come check us out on Twitch. Links down below as well as links to the Discord. All right, so there's the command center. Important to be able to look at that. This will bring you to the command. You can hit this button. You're not going to use this button. You can see I have Locutus in there unlocked, and we go out. But what you're going to look at is the command star button here. So highlight that again. They've squeezed that in. And so that brings you here. So you see I have Locutus active right now. And then I have Kirk and Spock down below. And you can see I don't have them very high on their points. And there's there's reasons for that. So let's look. So you can get some info about them. That takes you in, and you can see more about Locutus. You can see a skill tree. You can do the level ups. Notice you need this currency. It is the red and gold commander XP to level them up. And then also you need this stuff, another currency, because you needed some currencies. Which allows you to, this is uncommon commander credits to get in order to rank them up. All right, and so you're leveling and you're ranking. Does it matter? Well, in the beginning it doesn't matter, but you will have to, you'll have to rank them up to be able to raise their levels further. And later on, when you're working on some of the skill ups, because currencies and levels, they'll have to meet some of those requirements. In the beginning, we weren't there because there's some other bottlenecks going on. But it's you're going to spend some time working on these. So if we look at our skill tree, we can see with Locutus, like he's got the combatant, admiral, and mechanic. So it starts. This one is starting with increasing piercing against players. Notice it says on duty. That means it only applies when Locutus is actually slotted in use. That's the same for all of them. They have on-duty skills, and then they have always-on skills. Like if we look here at the mechanic skill, It says increases ship repair speed, but it says always on. So that's an always on research that's unlocked once you have them and have spent those points. So that's good that there are some of those. So you have the on duty skill, you have the always on skill, and then you have these other ones that are here in like a box. So anytime you see one in a box that is they're collected together, that means you can choose one and only one of these skills. So you have to choose carefully because you can't go back and unlock them all. Like in this one, you see I have chosen that he increases damage against Federation armadas. It only applies when he's on duty, and it's only Federation. Notice leveling him up further is Command Center 10. That's part of our bottleneck. So I had a choice between Klingon, Romulan, and Federation, and I'm grinding against Feds right now for my Romulan ships and rep grind. Come join me on Twitch as we work on that. So you have to carefully pick what you want. Then the ones for 10. This one is always on. There's a gold border here. That indicates an always on, like this one as well, skill. And so you're going to have to get it. But notice that your command center has to raise up. And so we will go from there. There are also these little green doodads because you didn't have enough currency. And that you get those as you level up the fleet commander in order to unlock one of the chosen skills. So you can see at this tier, I'm going to have one where I have to choose an on-duty thing for damage while cloaked or mitigation stats against players. So I'll have to choose one of those, and I'll get a little doodad for that. Same thing over here, increased armor for battleships. You can probably guess. Probably increased dodge for interceptors or increasing shield deflection for explorers. So we'll have to pick one of those and go with that. So you got to put a little bit of thought into that. That does mean that later on, when they introduce more fleet commanders, there will be options for you to come back probably and choose things that you didn't. Like if you didn't choose battleships and that becomes important to you, there's probably a fleet commander coming that will have that option to something similar. I don't know. Just thinking there's probably something they're going to sell us. What do you think? All right. So they are there. Again, you can slot them out using the chair, but there's a 6-hour cooldown, so be aware of that as well. Now, if we look at the refinery, we will see more of what's going on. Go to the command center here. By the way, bonus refinery's on. Take advantage of it. So once a day, you'll get your fleet commander materials. Every time you level up your command center or your fleet commanders, you'll get these. Well, with the command center, you'll get this. And every time you level up a fleet commander, you'll have a new box that you can pull. So go back to the refinery periodically and pull those. They stack up and you can get them. Give you more points, give you stuff to go forward. This is how you get the drip of supplies for leveling them up, but also for leveling up that command center. Now, what you have here is currencies for uncommon skill points, right? There's rare and epic later. But you can use these. These are generic currency, and you have to use the uncommon skill points to make Kirk points or Spock points or Locutus points. Could have more in the future. So you have to gather these and then decide. So if you only have one, it's a pretty easy decision. If you are working on more than one like I am, you're going to have to figure out how evenly you want to level them up or where you want to put your point. It's also the Fleet Commander Dust, which is really like transporter patterns, but they didn't want to use the same name. So when you have them unlocked and you get credits of shards for the Fleet Commander Officer, you'll have extra. It turns into dust. You'll come here, and that will convert into more of these America credits as well as Commander XP for leveling them up. So this is part of the grind, and you can do that. Now, why do I have stuff sitting on the table, and is it not mattered as much? That will be because the command center takes a lot of these currency, the quantum communicators, all right, and you need to get them. You need to get those. You get them in a drab from the refinery of like 18 a day. It may go up as you level up. But I get them for my once a day pull, 18, and we've gotten some from the Battle Pass. At this point in the Battle Pass, which is pretty near the end, if you've got it, you will get it just enough. You might be able to get to level up Command Center level 10. And I mentioned that earlier when we were on the commands, because if we go in here and go to the skill tree, for all of these, it's really the same. You'll see that, hey, at level 10, surprisingly, your Command Center needs to be level 10. So even if you have plenty of points to rank and skill up the officers, you can't turn on their events until you get that command center up. So, so I put some money into buying, unlocking Spock and Locutus after getting Kirk for free. However, I am not able to go past this initial row until my command center gets up. So be aware if you are considering spending, the bottleneck is really on the command center. So packs for that, you have to see if those are worth it to you. But the truth is, over time, we all will level up the command centers, and eventually, as you're getting there, it's possible that the sourcing for Locutus will be a grind, or for your Spock and your Kirk, whoever you don't have is going to come. So those are there, and just be aware of it. We can look at Kirk. We can hit info to look at him without activating him. And again, his levels, same thing with his ranks, but his skill tree, we can get in there and look, take advantage and see. Now that I'll slowly be able to, probably going to work tonight and tomorrow on getting my command center to Ops 10 or level 10, so that I can start unlocking some of these abilities. I think they start to shine more at 10 and beyond. You can see they go to 10, 20, 40, 50. So, and those are going to require ops levels as well as command centers. So, like 50 does require command center 50. So that's going to be a while. Commander rank needs to be 18, that kind of thing. So you can see it'll make more sense after you played with them for a little bit. But I just wanted to give you a quick picture of how these fleet commanders work. To remember the things about doing your Borg solo armadas beginning at Ops 35, so that you can further develop these fleet commanders, and doing the mission to get them unlocked for your free Kirk or Spock, as well as realizing that you can't neglect your command center, because it's really going to keep your progression locked down. So let me know who you chose between Kirk and Spock, as well as if you were tempted by Locutus. I know there's been a lot of talk about whether people were or not, and how your command center is going. So let me know below in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. Come see us on Twitch. Y'all take care. CockADoodle do.